website for my matrix energy system. The site, the News and Views site, has surpassed all 4 of those and doubled them on your show when you've appeared on my show this last month, meaning the month of October and the first 2 weeks of November. She just got the report and gave it to me last night that so far this month, pursuant to what she's being fed, is that your show is tearing up the airwaves in Australia on a Marines Disquisition network and the blog.
Well, I tell you, we're getting a lot of subscribers from Australia too.
Well, right at the present time, we have seven radio stations in Australia and 1 in New Zealand, and the 1 in New Zealand feeds some South Australia from New Zealand, the southern area, and with her radio station, and this show is broadcast at the noon hour down there. It's Friday noon down in New Zealand. So I obviously you're doing something good, Mr. Chapman, and this is why personally, this is from me. I have been honored to have been able to meet up with you and bring you to the American Voice Radio Network, and then graduate over to Wind Talkers Network, and then into Blog Talk, with the availability of Blog Talk, putting Wind Talkers on the internet stream. And you have no idea how honored I am, and the fact that I have so many Marines around the world that constantly send me emails thanking me from every corner, in every clime, in every place. I've got women here in the United States that are divorcees, that are widows, retirees, semi-retirees, couples from Texas to Maine to Alaska that are just thrilled to death that there's one station that's able to bring you on in the middle of the afternoon or the evening to pick up a show that you bring forth information, and they constantly send me emails saying that you saved their bacon.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Well, that's what it's all about, and that's why when people email me, I always answer them personally, and it doesn't matter whether they're a subscriber or not. And I've always done that since we started publishing 20 years ago. And this is a medium to tell the people the truth and hopefully make the right decisions investment-wise, and so far it's been good. And we're up against a formidable force that controls our government, and in the final analysis we're going to win. And one of the reasons why is we're making them expedite their program, and they're terrified, and they're really bent out of shape about these programs. You know, there's a whole plethora of them. Unfortunately, the top 4 or 5 programs are people who don't share the penchant for truth or exposing what's going on because they're more interested in making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And where I'm going in 10 or 15 years, there's no use for money, so I don't worry about that.
I understand. Now, I have a personal friend out there who wanted to ask a question right off the bat. Came through and wanted to know what you felt about Dubai posting its debt for the world.
Well, I think that, like so many others, they just simply overstepped themselves. They got too much in debt. They thought everything was going to be wonderful forever. They weren't listening. They didn't look outside the box. They listened to New York and London and Frankfurt and all of the wonderful things that are going to happen to the world, and it turned sour on them. They had a wonderful dream. It's coming apart. Today we had the FTSE, the Financial Times Index in London was down the equivalent of 300 Dow points because, again, British banks are holding a good deal of the paper that was, lent out to these people. And I think it's tragic, but it's reality. It's going to put a whole new pressure on British banks and probably others, and there's nothing that can be done about it. And it's no wonder the Fed is terrified that this whole thing's going to come apart. And I'm very, very fortunate to have intelligence sources. And of course, that was my specialty when the government engaged me in employment. And so I tend to have my foot out forward before others, and I've been able to break a lot of stories. And this is a very, very important one. And so you put all this stuff together, and it's not good. And the best thing our government can do, whether they like it or not, is stop the action in Afghanistan and bring everybody home. And we don't need to be in Iraq. Let the Iraqis take care of their own country. Let's get these people back here so that we're not spending billions of dollars, some $300 billion a year that we just don't have. And I think that would be a good start.
Amen to that. Robbie asked a question, can the market eventually overpower the short positions that the parasitic banks like Goldman Sachs and the Illuminists hold? And what do they stand to gain by holding these short positions?
Well, a short position is you're betting something is going to go down. In this case, it might be gold shares. Who knows what it is, whatever they decide. And they are short, the gold stocks. Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, Jimmy Rogers, George Soros, Barclays Bank, Citigroup, the Bank of New York, and I know this for certain. They're trying to drive the prices down, and when you sell something that you don't own, you must buy it back at some time. And when they do that, they're going to make the stocks go crazy, but they're also short in a big way in behalf of the United States government in the gold and silver bullion markets. And they're going to get their heads, in fact, they have had their heads handed to them already. They have the biggest short position of all time. And they're manipulating or attempting to manipulate those markets and have for the last 20 years. I started writing about the manipulation in 1988. But be as it may, they're losing. And they're going to lose big time.
See, okay, he said you answered your question. You answered the question. A Marine over in Japan comes forth and he said that there is a rumor about the hoarding of gold coins and the shortage of gold coins. Does Mr. Chapman know of anything about this, and what will this do to the economy?
Well, first of all, people who buy gold coins and gold bullion and stocks and bonds, they're all investors. They're not hoarders. I mean, sometimes people will buy a bond and hold it for 30 years. And if everybody was termed a hoarder, no one would invest in anything. I think what should concern you there in Japan is the fact that you're getting paid in U.S. dollars, and the Japanese yen hit a new high today. The last I saw it, it was 86.74. The Swiss franc on Friday went below $1. In other words, went higher than the dollar. That's 0.9961. Now, the yen is more important because you spend it probably on the economy. I assume you spend money. So that's going to affect you because your dollar's going to be worth less and you're going to be able to buy less for your money. And that's true with all of the people in all of the countries where currencies are appreciating against the dollar. And they all are practically. I mean, even Mexico. Mexico just went up from 1380 up to 1299. That's a big move. And it's probably in the next year, probably going to go back to 11, maybe even 10 and a half. Why? Because the United States government has serious debt problems. And unfortunately, all currencies for the last 6 years have been depreciating against gold. And that's why I've told you for 4 or 5 years that I've been on this program, you got to own gold, whether it's shares or coins or bullion, whatever you want.